But first, another day and yet another embarrassing big blunder from, yes, the frail, the weak, the cognitively struggling commander-in-chief. Someone might just want to remind Joe that he's the president now. Somebody might want to whisper that in his ear before he goes out publicly again.
Now, when President Harris and I took a virtual tour of a vaccination center in Arizona not long ago.
Maybe Joe's, I don't know, maybe it's just a moment of honesty. Who knows, right? After all, Kamala Harris, she's taken all the solo calls with world leaders, and she's holding weekly meetings with the Secretary of State. I guess maybe this possibly could be the Harris administration after all. We'll let you decide.
I took it to instill public confidence in the vaccine. President-elect Harris took hers today for the same reason. Harris-Biden administration is going to relaunch that effort.
A Harris administration together with Joe Biden as the president of the United States, the Biden-Harris administration.
They keep saying it. When are we going to believe it? Anyway, tonight, whoever actually is in charge of the Harris-Biden administration may want to put the brakes on this so-called Biden blitz we've been hearing about, because these short, daily, little public events of his, they're getting pretty difficult to even watch. And during this week's big interview with former Clinton hack Democratic operative turned ABC News host George Stephanopoulos, Biden, yes, struggled again to answer some pretty basic, simple questions. This despite the help of a cheat sheet that Joe seemingly referenced throughout the entire interview. But if you watch Good Morning America, you might not know about the cheat sheet. Why? Because ABC, well, they did Biden a big favor. They edited out references to Joe's trusty little note cards. By the way, I've interviewed presidents before. I've interviewed President Bush. I've interviewed President Trump. Not one time did I ever see them with a note card or a cheat sheet. Is anyone surprised, though, at this point? The Biden Protection Program is alive and well, as I call it, just as the Candidate Protection Program existed all during the election, protected by the media mob, protected by big tech. And meanwhile, during the same interview, Biden referring to Vladimir Putin as a killer. Here's the response from Putin. He challenges Biden to a debate. Now, pay close attention to this. I think there's more to this. Now, according to the Russian dictator, quote, well, I don't want to put this off for long. I want to relax a little this weekend, so we could do it tomorrow or Monday. We're ready at any time convenient for the American side. Now, the question is this. Why would Vladimir Putin immediately call for a debate with Joe Biden with no time to prepare? What have I been saying? What have some of us, half the American people, saying? The media mob in this country, they protect all things radical socialist Joe Biden and his administration. They're trying to purposely ignore what is obvious, that now poll after poll shows that half of us, the American people, see. Apparently, I'm just one of the few people willing to say it all publicly. When you compare Joe Biden to 2012, even 2016, Joe Biden looks extremely weak, frail, often confused, and yes, he is struggling cognitively. It is obvious. This is not brain surgery. Now, here's the problem we all have. This world has many evil actors. There's many hostile regimes, like Putin's Russia, like the mullahs in Iran, like President Xi in China, like North Korea and Kim Jong-un. Guess what? They're not Pollyannish about Joe Biden. They study Joe Biden. They watch our every move every day. All of America's enemies, all of the world's hostile actors, they are seeing what we are willing to talk about openly, about Joe Biden struggling, kind of a shell of his former self from years gone by, who's working clearly very hard to get to the weekend. Now we're going to ask this important question. Is any of this good for the country? Is any of this good for the free world? The answer, that is obvious as well. Not at all. Vladimir Putin is a hostile foreign actor, one we should all be concerned about. And now he's literally openly mocking the President of the United States for his own amusement. And frankly, I find it as an American citizen humiliating. How is Biden going to respond? Time will tell. But this is why a candidate can never be allowed to hide in their basement an entire campaign and never be asked tough questions. Oh, only now we find out about H.R. 1, the most transformational voting corruption scheme, I think, ever designed by any political party. Now we find out about court packing. Now we find out about ending the legislative filibuster. Now we find out about all of these radical things that he hid during the campaign. This is why candidates in all parties need to be vetted and vetted fairly. This is why we cannot ignore what is happening with Joe Biden. The world is a better place when this country, our beloved country, the United States of America, is strong. The world needs a strong America, and it's hard to present a strong national image when a commander-in-chief needs note cards just to remember his own tax plan. Of course, this Putin-Biden debate will never happen. It can happen. I don't think it would go well, but it wasn't so obvious to Press Secretary Circle Back Jen Psaki. She told reporters she need to circle back on this issue. Take a look.
President Putin has just extended an invitation to President Biden to continue their conversation, but this time he wants to do it live. He's asking for a live-streamed conversation, an open, direct dialogue. Putin says he's available tomorrow or Monday. Is this something that you would consider?
I'll have to get back to you if that is something we are entertaining. I would say that the president already had a conversation already with President Putin, even if, as there are more world leaders that he has not yet engaged with.
Let me just tell you the straight-up truth. Hell will freeze over before Joe Biden's ever allowed to debate Vladimir Putin. Why? Because Vladimir Putin would clobber him in any debate. That's sad. At this point, now you have Jen Psaki doing a disservice to the administration and you, the American people. She doesn't even try to answer the most basic of questions. Now, I think we all know why the White House wanted questions from reporters in advance. Remember the Daily Beast story. But tonight, I do have some good news for Joe Biden. Tomorrow's Friday. Guess what, Joe? You get to go home to Delaware or Camp David. You get days now. You can rest and sleep and nap and drink hot cocoa and warm milk and take lots of naps. And by the way, you can also spend some time memorizing a few of those lines you're going to need for your first official press conference, which will be held 1 week from today.